Hello and welcome. I hope that you're all doing well. In this video, we're going to start to take a look at how we can use React to interact with a Node.js server in order to use it as a front-end portion to the back-end logic of our server. And where we're going to start off is just by creating a simple Node.js server, which can accept some post and GET requests from the React portion of our application. So let's jump over to our code and take a look at that. So we're going to work inside of index.js, which is just in the root of the directory where we normally make all of our node files. And when we set this up, we should install a few different components. So there's going to be Express, which we're going to have available to us. And then we're going to do, the app is going to use Express in general, since it's going to be working with different endpoints, right? We're going to have our storage that we talked about in the last section, which was done through node persists. We're then going to have our body parser, which was done through our body-parse. And then we're going to introduce something slightly new here, which is called cores, which we're going to include inside of here. You'll have to install cores in a similar way to what we install all of our other components. That'd be npm I cores, like this. What cores is going to do for us is it's going to allow us to be able to send requests from the same domain as the server is hosted on. So that means that we can send requests from localhost that are able to be interpreted by a localhost server. This is called a same origin request, and this is required. This cores component is required to actually make that work. So that's why we're including this as well. And to enable that, we just have to say app.use, it should be app.use cores, like this. And then, of course, like usual, we have the JSON parser, which is our body parser.json, like this. And we want to initialize our storage right here. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to enable a GET request and a POST request. And the GET and POST that I'm going to do are going to be students, like we were talking about before. There's going to be a student ID, there's going to be a student name. They're going to map to each other inside of our data structure, and we're going to be able to store that data and get that data. So let's go ahead and set that up. We're going to do an app.get on /student as our endpoint. And we're going to do that as an asynchronous request, as we've been doing usually with these. So we do an async, and we do a response.send, await storage values. So what this is doing here is it's getting all of the values from our storage and returning them. So basically what I'm doing is I'm just creating a general get endpoint that will get all of the students that are inside of our storage, and it will return them back as the result for this query. So that's the way that this get request is working. Now the post request is going to work in a similar fashion to the ones that we've seen. So it's going to be using this student endpoint as well. It's going to take in the JSON parser, and it's going to be an asynchronous with a request and a response. And what we're going to do is we're going to extract the student ID provided and the student name. That comes from the request.body. And then we're going to go ahead and await storage.setItem, student ID, student name. And then we'll send back a response that says added student successfully. That's all there is to that, right? So that's the same sort of thing that is what we saw in the previous section when we talked about Node.js. Nothing really too new or exciting there. Now, the last piece that we're going to do here is set up our app to listen on port 5000. And I'm just going to console.log that the server has started. And that's all. We're just creating a very simple Node.js application using the Express GET and POST that we've talked about already. So everything here is already sort of knowledge to you next to the cores component, which is just these two lines here, which again just allows for those same origin requests where we post data from the same URL as where we are hosting the server. So that's pretty standard. So we'll just go ahead and run this just to make sure that it is working. So we'll do a node index. And server has started. Looks like everything is working as expected. So at this point, we have our server set up. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to create a React component that can actually post to this server. So that's what we'll take a look at in the next video. So thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.